I would love to get your thoughts on Lex Friedman. He recently tweeted, he said, legacy media is done. I'd love to see presidential candidates and political leaders of both parties regularly doing long-form podcasts moving forward. What are your thoughts on traditional media and the way it's going?
So what is keeping traditional media in place? 3 things. One is boomers, one is big pharma, and the other one is sports. Now watch what's happening with sports. NFL, NBC, is so scared of what's going on with sport. Charles Barkley, how dare the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs go put that one game on Roku or whichever it was, and they paid him $110 million. All they care about is money. Charles, do you do the NBA on TNT for free? Well, no, I'm all about making money, but this is a little bit too much. Who says that? You say that. No, it's called disruption. The game is going a different direction. Look at shows on mainstream media. By the way, here's the other prediction to be thinking about. You'll remember this. For sure you'll remember this. Do you remember during COVID, there were guys that are doing lives 3, 4, 5 times a day, and they're killing it, growing exponentially. Some of the guys got 100,000 subs in a month, right? And G5, was it G5? Yeah, G5 and COVID and market and the next stimulus, reaction to the next stimulus. Stimulus changed. G5 changed. They disappeared. What are you going to react to now? So it was Trump and Kamala and RFK and Tulsi and November 6th. A lot of talent. They're scared shitless. Because guess what? You know what November 6th is going to happen? People are going to say, I'm freaking done with politics. I don't want to know nothing else. Give me a year or 2-year break. I'm not interested. You're going to see a lot of the content creators that are doing talent individually, they're going to join teams and alliances. That's going to happen November 6th when they're going to think about it. Now, they may not execute on it till March, April, May, June, July of next year because they're like, no, I'm going to be fine. They're going to experience that. Not everybody, not you guys, but a lot of people are going to be doing that. So that's one part. Second thing, November 6th, the mainstream media, the only reason I don't think they're going to be dead the next 4 years is the answer is going to be a little weird. I think Trump's going to prevent them from going out of business the next 4 years. Because when Trump's in office, CNN ratings was to the roof. MSNBC's rating was to the roof. They needed outlets to go out there and talk trash about Trump, and they're going to freaking CBS. You're going to see record-breaking number of subscribership and blah, 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 blah. Why? Because they have an enemy. They can't do that under Kamala. This game is a very tough game. Why? Podcasting is not for everybody. It's not. I can sit here, give me a teleprompter, I'll read it. So today at 6 p.m., there was news reported that in New York City, a family of 6 was shot when I'm reading, right? Now try to do this. Now try to go through this. Not everybody can do this. How many guys go from there and make it happen? Maybe Tucker. How many more? Maybe Megan. How many more? Not a lot of them. So this game is about to change in a major way, and Lex Friedman is absolutely correct with what's taking place. In 2028, 2023, 2024, Bobby showed the way to compete is podcasts. Trump saw that. Boom. Yeah. I'm going on podcasts. But you think this is crazy? 2027, 2028, you're going to see actual presidential debates taking place on podcasts. You'll see that happen. It's changing. The game is changing.
I would love that.
No, it's going to come. It's going to come because there's going to be money behind it. It's going to come.
And the main problem, I think, also with these huge outlets is that there's no accountability whatsoever. Did you read Jeff Bezos' opinion in Washington Post? I saw that he did that, and I was very excited. Yep. And then I read it, and I was wildly underwhelmed because he said that the media needs to be accurate. They need 2 things: to be accurate, and then for people to believe that they are accurate. And he says Washington Post has not done the latter. Let people believe that they're accurate, basically saying that people can't make the decision for themselves if the information that they're receiving is accurate or not. They don't have that agency. It's up to the news source to tell them that what they're saying is accurate, which I think is kind of taking away the agency from the people that are ingesting the information.
Look, I mean, here's the reality of it. He's got 2.25 million subscribers, right? 2.5 million subscribers, of which he just lost 200,000 yesterday. Okay? 8% is gone. What's he now going to do? So did he lose 200,000, but he gained 100,000 conservatives? No, he just lost. Because the average conservatives or libertarian is not sitting there saying, Oh, wow, great job, Bezos. I'm not going to come and subscribe to WAPO. Oh, great job, LA Times. Now I'm going to come back and subscribe to LA Times. You didn't gain conservatives. You just chose to not endorse. So they didn't win anybody. They just lost. So what are they going to do now? When it comes down to TV, podcast, you have to know to be a good host, to ask good questions, to be a good conversationalist, to maybe have a good shock factor, good storyteller, suspense, good analysis, good breakdown, a way of looking at something that nobody's thinking about to say, well, I just like the way this guy thinks. He's always different than what everybody else thinks. Oh, interesting. Never thought about, or very honest, transparent. I trust this guy. When he F's up, he says it. Ted Turner said something. And I think this is where a Bezos, if he reads the book, They Call Me Ted or something like that, the book, at the end of the chapter, end of the book, phenomenal. By the way, both of you guys would enjoy reading this. It's a phenomenal book to read. At the end of the book, he's interviewed by one of the current CNN anchors. And he talks about how disappointed he is in what happened to CNN. He says, I started CNN for news to be the star. He says, now the star is the anchor. No one cares about the news. Things changed, right? Now, part of it could be the Fair Doctrine Act of 1987, where Trump, I'm having him on the podcast, we're talking, he says, back in the days, whenever they're doing a story on me, somebody independently would call and verify, are these stories true about you? So think about this. You're writing for New York Times. He's an independent company. He calls me and says, hey, Patrick, this is what New York Times is writing. Can you verify these things? And I would be able to give my argument to it on the hit piece that you're writing on me, right? Okay. Ever since 1987, you don't need to do that anymore. The Fair Doctrines Act, because propaganda became a normal thing. You can say whatever you want. There is no accountability. Nobody can sue you. They used to be able to do that because they used to say a media company that was called the Thomas Mundt Act back in the days, where you have to give me both sides of the story. That's the Walter Cronkite days. He was a hardcore liberal. Nobody knew about it. He just gave you the news. The moment that's wiped out and the journalistic integrity and accountability is gone, everybody can keep writing opinions, Russia collusion, Elon Musk is this.
Why'd they get rid of that? What was the argument for getting rid of that?
Yeah, so I mean, the argument was you should let people talk and you should let people present. And then keep in mind, I wasn't involved to know if lobbyists were involved. Because think, if you're sitting there saying, guys, we keep getting hit by these lawsuits, man. If we can sensationalize stories even more, we're going to get more eyeballs. More eyeballs equals more sponsorship money. How much did that lobbyist firm want to, if we hired them, how much money do we need to give to these guys? $2.8 million. If we do the $2.8 million and we turn that over, how much can that turn into? Oh, advertising would go 300%. Can we talk to accountant? Hey, CFO, can we afford that $2.8 million? Let me run numbers for you. Yes. Give that guy $2.8 million. Great. Doctrine Act is gone. No way. Yes. Oh, phenomenal, guys. Pump it up more. And let me tell you what I believe is going on. A source, an anonymous source told me, what anonymous source? Everything was anonymous. An anonymous source told me that Graham Stephan is taking steroids and growth hormone, and he sold them the steroids. Anybody can say that nowadays. What do you mean an anonymous source said that? And now you have to go answer it.
Yeah, it's awful because then if you address it, you have half the room who says,
get credibility.
Then he addressed it, so there's got to be some truth to it. Why is he hiding it? And then if he doesn't, why isn't he addressing it? It must be true.
That's the sensationalism factor when you get rid of and you allow propaganda. Now anybody can say Jake Tapper's being questioned by J.D. Vance. Russia collusion. Whoa, an FBI? What are you talking about? You don't have, well, an FBI. Yeah, we did. We looked at it. No, you didn't. So Jake is like offensive, going back and forth with Jake. I was like, what are you talking about? You did this the entire time. Now you want to say an anonymous source that used to work with Trump back in the day said the following? Enough of these anonymous sources. So, and you're going back to independent content creators. What do independent content creators do? All we do is we question. Why did this happen? Hey, can you pull that up? Huh. Can you pull that up? Huh. What do you think happened? Is it this? Is it that? And then somebody's watching and saying, what is that white envelope they're talking about? And then let me create a Reddit to see what people think it is. Let me see 6,990 comments later. Oh, there was a person that. These are 5 different things. I found out what it is. That's how this thing works. So that's scary to them, right? What you're doing, what we're doing, it's very scary for them. But long term, that's the direction we're going.